Hey everybody, it's Joe from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going to be going through my updated Demigra deck profile. So, I've had a couple of changes since last time, and sleeves, but yeah, so we'll go into the deck. So starting with, we have the leader card, which has the auto skill. When this attacks a leader, place 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop. If all 3 of those cards you place in your drop area are black, draw a card. That's pretty simple, you just make the deck mono black really. And he switches 2 energy back over when you flip into this side. So to begin with, he has the ability Wormhole, which is you're able to use the skills Overwhelm and Dark Overwhelm up to 2 times in a turn. So at the moment it's the only thing with Wormhole, but you never know, there'll be something in the future probably. He has the auto when it attacks draws, and you have the activating of once per turn, choose 3 black cards in your warp and place them in your drop. So he really fuels you if you want to go into the Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm, which is obviously very helpful for a deck like this. So starting with the extra cards, we have 3 copies of minus Kiddie Zone. Give me a second, there we go. So you don't pay cost for it, you just send 3 cards from your drop area to your warp, draw a card, and your opponent can't activate counterplay skills for the duration of turn. So it just comes in handy if they're going to like throw a cold bloodlust or whatever at you. I find having 3 in the deck is fine, it doesn't really hurt the numbers, and if anything it just lets you draw a card, and you can always charge it, and if you mill it then you know it's a better chance to sing it. So we have 3 copies of Seasoning Arrow. So this is the active battle. If your leader is Demigra, it gains 10,000 power for duration of battle. If it's your turn when you activate this, your opponent then chooses 1 card from their hand and sends it to the warp. If the card is a battle card, combo with that in your combo area. So it just immediately combos, you don't have to pay energy costs and whatever. Again, it's just a nice bit of helpful Demigra, because a lot of Demigra cards are about nicking your opponent's stuff, so helps you do that. And finally, we have 4 copies of Time's Judgment. So this is our negate for the deck. It's the counter ability of negate the attack, then you may place 2 cards from your hand to drop out. If you do so, add this card to your hand. So it can recycle itself as long as you won't dump 2 cards. It's at 4 because it's our main negate. I did look at putting Power Burst in the deck, but when your deck revolves around getting rid of your drop area, sparking is not really doable. So the amount of times I couldn't really get sparking off, I was like, well, there's no point running it. And this is fine, like you can dump a couple of cards that you don't need just to get your negate back. So going into the battle cards, we have 2 copies of Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan. So 1 drop 5k. You have the 2 auto abilities of when this card attack. When you attack with this card, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand. If you do, it gains 10,000 power for the duration of turn, so it's just a nice little self-awakener. And the secondary auto, when your opponent plays a battle card with 15 or less power using a non-keyword skill, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in the drop area. So it combats a lot of decks that tend to build up hand, or like it's very good against Shenron decks. The main reason it's in the deck though is just for the self-awakening, because there is another way to self-awaken the deck, but since you're milling cards you have no guarantee of hitting one of them, so it's better to just have like a little something, and they both cost the same energy really, so it doesn't matter. So we have 3 copies of Poutine in Demigra's Thrall. So this is our block for the deck. It's got the auto skill, when you play this card, if your leader is Demigra, place up to 2 cards from your deck to drop. So you don't have to mill anything. Like I said, it's the block for the deck. You only run the 3 because it can run you down a bit, and you're not really needing it. It's just a nice little thing to have. And we have 2 copies of Time Control Chronoa. So I did run this at a higher number when I originally built the deck. It's still a useful card regardless of if you're up against anything that uses Shigesh, because it's the anti-Shigesh card. You play it, you draw a card, and your opponent can't play battle cards off their super combo for a duration of the game, which is just Shigesh. But it's good either way. It's just a nice little combo piece. You can draw a card. If you're up against something that uses Shigesh, it's like, cool, I'm ready for you, but at the same time, I don't care if you play it or not, it just draws you a card. And it doesn't hurt the main deck to have it. So, next in the 2-drops we have 3 copies of Frigid Blast Poutine. So she is Dark Overwhelm 3, where you can pay, well, as long as you have 3 black cards you can overwhelm it out. And when you play this card, choose up to 1 Demigra, going to cost 4 less from your deck, add to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a way for us to search out pretty much every Demigra on the deck, which is helpful because we're milling, we want, and we know there's a Demigra we want to play, she can find it for us before it goes to the warp. But yeah, very helpful if you see it, but it's not really necessary because you can draw into them with enough of them in the deck. We have 4 copies of Gravy in Demigra's Thrall. Yeah, that's his name. So it's 2-drop 15k, and the auto, when you attack or combo with this card, if your lead card is black, choose up to 2 cards in your warp and place them in your drop. So I mostly use this as a combo piece, but you can attack with it. It's just very, very useful for setting up that drop after you've done some overwhelming, because you can do it in either player's turn, so it could be a little defensive thing you do against your opponent, or if you want to extend your plays because you've awakened, you could be like, cool, I'll do Demigra's effect, I'll combo Gravy, that's 6 after the attack, maybe more, bang, here comes another thing. So a must have in this deck, really. And of course, for our super combo of the deck, we have the Supreme Card of Time World's Protector, because when you combo with cards, if you have 5 more in your warp, draw a card which gains 10,000 combo power. There isn't really any other super combo you could use in this deck. The only other black super combo that I can think of is Trunks, but he's sparking 5, so basically never happening. So yeah, this is very much needed. So 3 drops, we just have 2 copies of Time's Choice Supreme Card of Time. So you overwhelm, so it's like Overwhelm 3. When you play this card using Overwhelm, you can look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 battle card among them, add it to your hand, then place the remaining cards on the bottom in the end of the order. It's just a way to search out battle cards, because like I said, we're milling, we don't want to lose stuff that's valuable. So, and it's a nice little option. It's not neat, like a huge thing you need in the deck. You could do Time Control Trunks, for example, get the same result, but the fact you can search more cards is quite useful. So, going into the 4 drops, which makes up a good chunk of this deck, we have 4 copies of Dark Control Demon God Demigra. So 4 drop 20k, Dark Overwhelm 4 by paying 3 energy, and also when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and sends it to the warp. If that card was a battle card, combo with it in your combo area. So again, stealing cards from your opponent's hand, which a lot of Demigra does. We have 3 copies of Dimension Control Demigra, which is again 4 drop 20k. It's Overwhelm 4 by paying 1 energy this time, so a little bit different to Dark Control, but basically the same effect. So when this card attacks during the turn you play it with Overwhelm, your opponent chooses a card from the hand, sends it to warp with battle card combo. Yada yada yada, same thing. That's why he's at 3 as well, because he's not Dark Overwhelm, whereas like a Dark Overwhelm card stays out after you've done that, a Overwhelm card goes. So he's a one-time thing, the other one's permanent, but still helpful. So next we have 3 copies of the Encroaching Darkness Demigra. So this is our most recent card to the deck. He has 10k power, it's overround 4. He has the permanent skill of all Demigra cards in your hand with an edge cost of 7 gain Xeno Evolve for free on top of a Demigra. So at the moment it's just this guy, but we're going to him a little later. And he has the also ability of when you play this card, you can't play non-black battle cards for the duration of the turn, and your opponent can't attack with battle cards with an original power of 10,000 or less until the end of their next turn. So it stops like a lot of 1-drops and 2-drops that are just going to like spam you to death. So like you got the 1-drop Gohan, Trunks, Goten, if it's still a thing, it would stop that. But hey, look at all this anti-Gohan, Goten stuff we've got after we ban it. Good timing there. And yeah, being able to Xeno Evolve the big guy is just a lot easier than having to do the Dark Overrealm, because it saves you an Overrealm for the turn. We only run this at 3 because it's just if we see it, we play it. If we don't, oh well, Dark Overrealm doesn't hurt. And finally in 4-drops we have 2 copies of Increasing Evil Mass Saiyan. So our other Self-Awakener for the deck. Again, it's overrun 4 by paying 1 energy. And when you play this using Overrun, you can choose a card in your life at your hand. If you do, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less and send it to their warp. So a tiny bit of board clearance and Self-Awakening. So next we have 3 copies of the 5-drop, which is Forced Absorption Demigra. So this came in the Ultimate box. It has 30k in Triple Strike. It doesn't play through Overrealm or Dark Overrealm, but you just have to pay the hard 5. However, the auto ability is when this card attacks, if you lead card as a Demon God, which is just Demigra at the moment, and you have 15 or more black cards in your warp, easy, choose all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier and combo them in your combo area. So you just nick your opponent's board and combo with it. Obviously it's 30k base for Triple Strike, so it's anything you add on top of that is going to hurt. It's just a nice little additional way to kill your opponent. So next we have 4 copies of the 7-drop Temporal Darkness Demigra. Can't properly read it on this version of the card. Yeah, we've got 2 of each. Oh, bling. So here's Dark Overrealm 7 by paying 4 energy. And the auto ability of when you play this card, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to their warp. Then choose it to one battle card from your warp with an energy cost of 4 less and play it. So it's pretty much a good chunk of the deck. You're basically going for the Dark Control Demigra, where I find I am most of the time. And being able to get rid of your opponent stuff is helpful, but it's mainly we use it for the like spawning, and it just becomes a 30k beat stick, which makes a difference. And finally we have our singular copy of the secret Beyond Darkness Demigra. So it has 40k power, ultimate because it's secret, Dark Overrealm 7 by paying 5, so it's a heavy cost, Triple Strike, and the auto ability of when this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand. Choose up to 4 battle cards from it and combo them in your combo area. So again, you don't pay cost, you're taking cards from your opponent's hand, you get to see their hand, so you can kind of judge what you're going to do and how they're going to try and stop you. Very much an end game card, but if not, then you kind of know what you can do and what your opponent can do, and you've hurt them really bad. So yes, it's secret, so you can only have 1. Oh well. So there we go, guys. That is my Demigra deck profile. Thank you for watching. Leave thoughts in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.